Please start.
Hello everyone, we are group number 4 and today we are going to present to you our midterm results. So, in our team is Denis, Nikita, Ruslan and Victoria. To remind you, we have chosen for our project React Beautiful DND, where DND stands for drag and drop. This is an open source library for React applications. It works with vertical and horizontal lists, allows DND using mouse, keyboard, and touch. It has item combinations, screen reader support, and also smooth animation. The main goal for the library is to provide users and developers with drag and drop a library so that it has beautiful and natural movement of items, it is accessible, it is extremely performant, it is clean and powerful API which is simple to get started, it is customizable, style customizable, and no need for additional DOM wrappers. The library has approximately 100k lines of code. It has 34 gigabytes minimized library size, 18,000 stars on GitHub, 90 plus contributors, 2400 cyclomatic complexity, excluding tests. As a technology, they use React as a primary rendering library, and Redux is used to manage the data flow of the application. And for the technology for testing, they use Flow for static type checker, ESLint to detect and fix problems with JavaScript code, and Jest and Cypress as a testing framework and end-to-end testing tool.
And now we'll move to describing our quality model. Actually, we have, when we were choosing the quality model, we were, as one of the previous teams described, we took the same method. We have taken the quality attributes that we thought are the most suitable for discussing in this project, in terms of this project, and which are usability, because the library is about the user experience, efficiency, because it says beautiful DND, which means that it could be fast and smooth, portability, because the sphere of front end is very wide, and this solution should work across a lot of different environments, such as different browsers. Maintainability, because this project evolves and it should be still easy to work with it from the developer side. Reliability, since a lot of functionality is under hood and the external interface is small, but still everything is the actual users of this library are, I don't know how to say it correctly, that they rely on which solutions did the authors of the library get in order to make this functionality in a way that as it is for now. And the functionality, I said this word a lot of times, and that's why this quality attribute is also important. Okay, and we decided that the ISO quality model across all other models is more suitable for the listed quality attributes. And actually, it is very formal, which allows us to go step by step through the processes that are conducted by the that are described in this model. And actually, I forgot to include the picture of this quality model, and it is kind of huge. That's why we cannot fill all the required tables or write all the required documentations in the time that were given. That's why we have limited our choice of really quality attributes that we were checking to this list of importance, or the things that we actually may check, because some quality attributes from this model, again I forgot to include the picture, they were hard to measure because, for example, this project lacks the official documentation, some kind of requirements, official requirements to this project, because it's kind of informal, and some attributes required to measure the implementation of the actual requirements. And since we don't have them, it was quite hard. But overall, we have conducted a document with attributes mapping to metrics. We have measured them by ourselves, and as a result, we had about 80% of them are quite satisfactory, and we may say that this project is reliable. And let's move to the other verification techniques.
Yes. So for static analysis of our code, we decided to use Sonar Cloud, as we covered this tool in our labs and we're familiar. So for our project, Sonar Cloud gives rank C for reliability, but we are not agree with this rank, since we checked bugs and it were only 13 of them, mostly related to duplicated variable names, such as the variable declared and on the other line it declared again, so it doesn't lead to any failure. Maintainability is ranked to A, so code smells is 82, not from 100, it's a mistake, just 82. And most of the problems relate to unused imports and shadow variables. Security got rank A. Only 9 hotspots were found, and most of them just relate to unsafe processing of command line arguments, and as we discovered, it was mostly done in tests, so it is not in production. It's not used in production, this functionality. As was said, total cyclomatic complexity of our code is 2400, and technical depth estimated to 7.5 hours. And Sonar Cloud said us that it is not critical, and we also agree with it, because as I explained, bugs are not so important, and other problems also don't lead to failure.
At the project, Jest is used as the main testing framework, and as you can see from the slide, the project did come with some already written test cases. So there was quite a lot covering different layers of the application, such as state, view, and integration. So the coverage is quite high. And yeah, you can see it. Unfortunately, we cannot see it, but there was a GIF with the process of end-to-end testing, which is performed using Cypress. Cypress is a testing framework which allows you to perform end-to-end testing. So it emulates the browser and different user actions to make sure that the system works correctly from the user's perspective. So as our project did not include many scenarios and use cases, so there were only 9 such end-to-end tests covering all main use cases. And yeah, so the project comes with Lighthouse, which is accessible. Lighthouse actually is a tool testing different different metrics of a web application. So actually, it can be found in Google Chrome browser, but here it is used as a separate library. And as you can see from the slide, here is 100% accessibility. So in the project, it is used to verify if it's accessible. So here is the example of black box testing, because we have added some of them to the project, because as we have found, not all scenarios were covered. Maybe because documentation was updated but tests not, or something like this. But we found some features which were not covered by end-to-end tests. So that's why we have created some more. So yeah, as I said, it was like 9, and now it's like 11, something like that. Also, we have performed white box testing with unit tests. It was quite a challenging part because, as you remember, the project already had more than 1,000 test cases, so it was difficult to find something which is not covered, but we did. And also it was difficult to find something which is not covered and something which is not some utilitarian function. So we have found some such pieces and covered them by white box testing, by just unit tests. And on the slide you can see failing tests. So this is because of the defect we have found, because when we were testing one of the functions which detects if the card, if you remember, the library is about moving cards. So if so there was a function which calculates the percentage of the movement of the card. So it's like how much did it move. So in that function there was kind of a bug, because actually in real life the input domain actually couldn't provide such an error, but still the function didn't handle it properly. So that's why we consider this as a defect. Also, we have performed exploratory testing. So here is the intellectual tour. So how did we make it? Is we try to put the system into difficult conditions. So as you can see from the slide, here is a very long list from cards. This is the way we tried to make it as hard as possible. So here is 10,000 cards on the screen. Also, we tried to put a lot of text there. So yeah, this is the guidebook tour is something which checks the functionality of the system. So here are the main features described in the document. And as you can see, some of them are with the special command that you need to install something more to use it, because actually the project provides an API to work with, for example, different devices, but still needs some libraries to work with them. But other functions are working properly. Supermodel tour is about the appearance of the application. So the first one is feature follow UI guidelines. Actually, they do follow, but there are some defects which show that there may be some defects with the appearance. So I will show it right now. So yeah, here's what I was talking about. So as you can see, the card on a small size just looks like this. Yeah, this first function block. Also, we have found that mobile version of the storybook they offer. Storybook is something which shows the main features of this library. Looks not very good. Also, in the code, we have found that there are many default exports per module, which was not very convenient when we were testing because we simply couldn't import the function we want to test. And yeah, some other small view defects.
So in the end, we came up with, we learned such lessons like it was really difficult to test and gather metrics for our software since there were no requirements specified, only some functionality written on the GitHub page of our project. So metrics that we gathered that relates to our quality model is mostly done on assumptions, and they are biased because we were just like there were a field, a metric like an attractiveness in usability, so it was gathered only from our point of view, and so they are biased. Also, we learned end-to-end testing, how to do it, conducted some exploratory testing tours. It was okay. Other lessons you can read on the screen, and that's all. Now it's time for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. So actually, we're actually behind the schedule. I propose that for questions, we limit questions to groups right now. And right now will be a group for 2, 3, 5, and 6 who would ask questions. Okay, in the next tour, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I mean, for the next presentation. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I will announce. Okay. So now groups 2, 3, 4, and 5. Please.
Group 5, I have seen that you followed the quality model and checked for quality attributes, but in some model we have a quality characteristics. Have you checked for them? For example, maintainability is a quality attribute from ISO model. It consists of reusability, analyzability, testability, and stuff like that. Have you checked for such quality characteristics?
Yes, we did. The first thing that we have done is a Sonar Cloud static analysis. It gives us some metrics for maintainability, and also we gathered metrics, as we said, like we checked. You can find internal and external metrics list for this model. It's specified. It's also a standard. There is a lot of metrics for each quality attribute, and also we also gathered these metrics. But as I said, it's most of them are biased because we didn't have any requirements, and we just said like stability. We had 87% of branch coverage, so we said, and most of the other bugs and most of the tests were related to functionality. So we said, okay, it's like 0.8 gave 0.8 score for this metric in the scale from 0 to 1. So it was like this.
Okay, 2, 3, or 6.
Group number 3. So you said that one of the core functionalities of your project was that it is extremely performant. My question is, have you tested the performance of your library? If yes, how? If no, how would you?
Yes, so Ruslan said that he conducted end-to-end testing with a case when there were more than... now Ruslan will answer this question.
Thank you. Actually, we did perform some tests, but the main thing about performance was checked during this exploratory testing when we tried to make the application work in a difficult condition. So we created 10,000 cards. It was quite a big amount, so and it actually dealt with it correctly. And also we tried to put some big text and stuff like that. So this is kind of stress testing, but this is the way how we check the performance here, because performance in this case is FPS, so how smoothly everything changes. So this is the way how we checked it.
Okay, which group next?
A question for team 6.
Okay, so.
Okay, so do you have verification methods for your quality attributes and priority for them?
So you asked about the priority for our verification methods?
No, priority of your quality attributes and what verification methods you use for them.
We have established the priorities for our attributes, and actually, what was the second part of your question? If
What
we
verification methods you used for your quality attributes?
which kind of verification methods? Which probably we cannot answer this yet, but we had the priorities for our attributes.
So we chose these quality attributes from ISO model, and we didn't specify a priority for them. We just tested. We just tried to test most of them, and verification methods were explained like end-to-end testing. We done some exploratory testing with UI testing in supermodel tour, functionality testing in guidebook tour, and so on.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Actually, we don't have time left for the group 2, so we switch to the next group. Group number 8 wanted to present first for some reasons. So I then invite group number 8 to present. Okay.